My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden. Here is where I empower women to reclaim their authentic power, embrace their inner wisdom, and transform life's most challenges. Transitions into profound opportunities for spiritual growth and self-discovery. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Subscribe to the newsletter at Elizabeth Magical Garden, as well as check out my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden, which goes live every single Thursday. Hello, welcome to Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars, guys. Today is the full moon in Libra, and today we're going to get into a couple of things that I personally believe that is correlated with up-leveling your life, being ready for what is ahead, because a lot of us, we have these intentions, right? I know I'm always setting intention, but we have to ask ourselves a question, right? Are you qualified? Are you qualified for the next version of yourself? Are you qualified for the things that you have been asking for, the things that you are praying for? Are you qualified? So we're going to get into some of the key things that I believe that you should definitely think about and prepare and have in order to meet the higher version of yourself. Because a lot of times we talk about and we discuss about how, we want life to meet us in a particular state in mind, without understanding that we need to be in alignment with the thing, right? But before I start, be sure to get a beverage of your choice, and relax, and let's just have a little bit of fun, right? I haven't done this particular segment in a while, and today when I was when I was focusing on writing and I was doing my own meditations, I was reading, I was doing some reading, and I was doing some reflection, and it just bestowed upon me the moon. And I've been feeling this call. I've been going to the gym, I've been doing the things, and I just when you can just feel like something is coming, but I wasn't putting two and two together. And it wasn't until I looked at, because I have the moon cycles on my I'm looking over here because I'm like, girl, what is this? Okay. Distractions. I was looking at I have the moon app, like when it's all the different phases on my phone. And I was looking to see like what was the moon phase for the day. And lo and behold, it was the full moon in Libra. And I said, okay, if this is not a sign, I don't know what is. So I wanted to dedicate this particular segment to feminine energy, feminine empowerment, to the divine, to the mother moon, and so forth. Because you know what I believe, and this is one of the reasons why I don't want to say never, but never. I'm not a religious person, because I believe everything. God is in everything. And I am on this personal journey with reading the Bible from the beginning to end, because this storyline and working on the relationship with God, the Creator, is so important to me in this era of my life. I mean, it's always been important to me, but even more so now. And with all the things that is coming up in my life, and working on having an intimate relationship with the Creator God is number one, top tier. With saying that, I don't believe in burning down everything that I've been through, that I've learned, that I've overcome, that I've encompassed into my spiritual walk, just because I'm on this personal walk with God. And I just feel like when you come from a religious perspective, there is a particular regime and you no longer can do certain things. I disclose that I still have my tarot cards. I still have them. I don't give out readings anymore, but I do my personal readings every now and then. Not as much, because I believe like your spiritual journey grows, and there's certain tools that I used to use. Now my manifestation is more inward, if anything, but sometimes I will pull out a deck, right? So having this personal walk and this personal understanding with God, and being able to reflect on thyself is just so important. So I wanted to take some time to dedicate this particular episode to just that, because I feel like as women, we're always giving. We're always giving of ourselves. We're always giving of our energy, and we never take the time to realize how important it is to give back to ourselves. And your psyche has a lot to do. Your mental health has a lot to do with what is here for you in the future, in the present, right? So I did that, and I have to say, I just was just so, the more and more in this journey, I will share this before I start, the more I find myself on this personal journey, I realize how my concept of who I have to be or how I have to show up is literally mine, because God loves me in all aspects. Like, God created me. Like, I am not a surprise to the creator. You are not a surprise. Okay. There is nothing that you have done. There's nothing that you will do. And there's nothing that you will continue to do that will surprise God. So that self-inflicting, oh, I shouldn't do this, or I should be better at this, or this loathing on yourselves, it really doesn't have a place. It's all you. And then when we get in alignment with this particular attitude, and then life follows suit, right? Where the mind goes, the body follows. Then we question, oh my God, like, God, I'm praying to you, and why is all of this happening to me? Is it God or is it you? That's where the question lies. Is it God or is it you? I'm going to have a little swig of my tea, girl. Wish me luck over here, because I did fill it up to the brim. Hold on. Because that's so good. Guys, are you here for this weather? I don't know. Especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. What's going on? 1 minute is in the 70s, 80s. Next minute is in the 40s. And I don't know what's going on. And is leaving me feeling a little, come see, come sa. Okay. But anyway, let's get into it. The full moon in Libra, divine feminine, unleash your superpower. We are here to unleash your superpower this segment and reclaim what is already installed upon you. Because let me tell you something, a lot of the mishaps and a lot of the questions you have is because you are not in alignment. Women, we're not like men. We need to be in alignment with a melody of things in order for for us to feel the fruits of the things that we do. So if you may be very affluent in your career, but feel empty inside, there's a reason. You may be a homemaker and chose to dedicate your life to your children and to your husband and still feel empty inside. There's a reason. You may be a health buff. You may go to the gym and do all the things and still feel empty inside. There's a reason. As women, being in harmony with ourselves in all these areas and then some, and I know it's exhausting. It can feel exhausting, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. It's important for us to have an ebbs and flow in our lives in order for us to meet life to where it needs to be. Your ability to unleash your divine feminine and be one with yourself has everything to do with your success. In order for you to feel successful, in order for you to feel zestful towards life and not begrudge what is in front of you, not begrudge your work, not begrudge your children, it is very important for you to have a sense of harmony in your life. And a lot of times we tend to focus, especially when it comes to business. We tend to focus on getting the things done, focus on a mindset of the career moving ahead. And then we get to this age where we realize we have sacrificed so much of ourselves, and we literally miss the ship of being able to be fruitful in other areas in our lives, like having children. We have a biological clock. So yes, a lot of women are out here getting this money, but are you thinking about longevity? And I know. A lot of people is like, I don't even want no kids. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Sweetheart, it is very easy to say what you are not doing at this stage in life, right? But life has a funny way of changing your mind, right? Experiences has a funny way of changing your mind. You may meet somebody that will sweep you off your feet and treat you as you deserve and want to start a family. Do not outrule your future self for your prior self, if that makes any sense. Now, I was a young mother. I started early. Okay. I had my son, boom, boom, boom. And to be honest, I was one and done. I was one and done. At that point, I was one and done. But with that being said, balance was still key. Although, finding a career, and especially after being especially as a teenage mom, I had to learn very early how to juggle life and stay while still staying in my feminine. And it wasn't something that was obviously for me, not obviously for you. I wasn't able to do that. I went head first, and a lot of women find themselves. I went head first into my career, and yeah, I was there for my son and everything, but I was so completely engulfed in my masculine energy. And it wasn't until my spiritual practice, light years later, that has enabled me to realize how off balance I was. Right? But we're here to unleash your superpower. So the first tip that I will say to make sure to have in order is your money. Your money. Money is energy. Money is a form of energy. That's all it is a transfer in energy. So starting wherever you are, which is right now, using, especially in this full moon in Libra, get your pen. Guys, I'm always talking about writing down your affirmations. Get your pen, get your paper, get some tea, get some wine, water, and speak life into yourself. Notice the areas where you are draining your resources. Notice where you are not spending your money where it needs to be. Are you investing in yourself? Are you putting money aside and watching it grow without touching it? I know, girl, I know it's not the easiest thing to do. And this may even pluck a nerve or two, because you may or may not be doing it, or maybe you haven't even thought to do it, or maybe you've been doing it and you had to go dip into it. This is not about a perfect and pointing the finger situation. This is just a realignment. This is a conversation of realigning your energy in order for you to set the tone moving forward. And we're using the full moon to celebrate and to bring back and to understand our divine energy. and where source is coming from and how we can move forward and use what we already have to build what we want. So money is definitely a power source. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to be a woman. It takes a lot of money to be resourceful. It takes a lot of money to live in this world, right? And notice it's not about how much money you have. It's about where you are spending your money. What are the things that are draining your money? Now, I know this is something that I'm always working on. I would say because with the price value of how expensive things are, it's safe to say that many of us has to maneuver in a way that will enable us to survive. But see, we want to do more than just survive. We want to move from survival mode into abundance mode. I feel one of the things that will definitely help you do this is saving in fifths. Hear me out. And I didn't make this up. I believe I got this from Melody Hobbs. Am I saying her name right? She's with Ariel, the company Ariel. She's the CEO, I believe. I don't know. But anyway, she's a beautiful Black queen. Okay. And she always wears these like turtles on her lapel. I just love it. Anyway, starting small to get large. So here's the concept that I believe that will help you save some money. Starting in fifths. Every month, you can start with 5. You could start with 15. You could start with 20, 25. Just make sure 5, right? But let's just say 5 for value. So for 3 months, you save $5, right? And then the next 3 months, you add, after 3 months, you add another $5. So now it's $10. So for 3 months, you save $10. And then when you hit the next 3 months, you add another $5, and you just keep doing that over the course of time. Don't even think about it. It's not about how much you have. It's not about like, oh my God, what's $5 going to do for me? Like, you sitting here talking about some money. You talking about some $5. Girl, I am putting you on to game, because psychologically, especially if you are a spender, you're not going to, it's easy to say, oh, I'm going to put 100. I'm going to put this one. I'm going to put 200. I'm going to put 50. And then something happens and zoop, it's gone. But if you come from a space where you know you're always saving $5, right? And doubling it every 3 months, psychologically, you're not going to feel it, if that makes any sense. And never touching it. I forgot to tell you, never, ever touch this money. You don't touch, I don't care what emergency is happening. Once you put that $5 away, once you double that money, once you put that $5 away, it means nothing to you. This is your, I don't want to say screw you fund, but basically screw you fund. Not you, but life. Like, you are cultivating your freedom. You are buying back your freedom. This is not only about saving money. This is about recalibrating your mindset, right? Because now the more you do this, something shifts within your mind and energy, and you start to acclaim a version of yourself. You become that person that saves money. You become that woman that has money. You become that person that has acquired financial wealth. You see what I'm saying? So we're tricking the mind. We're tricking your bank account into believing that, this girl, she keeps money with her. Okay. And this money, again, we do not touch. I would suggest they have like these little bank accounts, these little banks that you could that looks like a safe that you could start off in that. There are also those envelopes where they have different sections, and you can, write, allocate, like this is for this, that, you could write the different monies that's in there. And it could also go into other things. You could use it for so many, but we're talking about the saving part. And also you can just open up an account, a saving account, and just keep doing it. And oh, another rule: just because you got a raise, just because you feel good, never, I know, but just stay with me. Never overdo $5. Again, every 3 months you add $5 more. So again, for 3 months, $5. The next three, when you hit the third month, you add another 5 to the 5 that you already do. And you just keep doing this every 3 months. This is not a race. This is a marathon. This is not about you going fast and going hard to fall down hard. This is about steady horse wins the race. If you do this for, let's do the math. If you put, I'm going to start off with, okay. So let's just say, okay, so there's 12 months in a year, right? And let's see something here. Divided by, okay. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So let's just say you do this 4 times, okay? And let's just say so 15, and then you do 15, right, for the first, and then the second month you do, okay, so that's 5. Then you do 10, right? So that's 30. If I'm doing the math right. And then you do another 30, right? Because that's another 10, right? Right? So that's like, let's just say another 30, just to keep it. And then you do another 30. Okay. So it's not about going hard. So you figure you do, but if you start off with 5, you end up with maybe like $100. Okay. It's okay. It may not sound like a lot, but think about doing this for the next, let's say 20 years, being that we're doing 5s. Let's say you do this for the next, let's say times 20, 105. But for argument's sake, let's just say 100 times 20, $2,000. Still doesn't sound enough, like a lot. But here's the thing. As you do this, other things start to happen, because now you have acclaimed a certain diligence when it comes to how you spend your money. You start to respect your money. You start to move in a way where now money is coming towards you, right? Because now this is going to amplify your ability to be strategic when it comes to how you spend your money. So that's just a tip, right? Next up is beauty. We're going to talk about beauty and for a little bit, and beauty regimens, and why it's so important, especially when in this full moon in Libra. Libras are divine entities, in my humble opinion. I have never seen a busted Libra. I really haven't. They just have an ability to be exquisite. They have an emotional intelligence that is just, in many ways is unmatched, in my opinion. Libras are just, I've always been, and I'm a Gemini. I've always been a bit soft-hearted when it came to a Libra. It's something about a Libra that is just warm and fuzzy to me. And they do not play when it comes to indulging. Now, this can look in so many different ways. It's not all about the appearance and stuff like that, but they just have a way, like anything a Libra does, it's always going to be like, and they are givers, right? So Libras are very elegant. When you come to a Libra's house, trust and believe they're going to have the best. They're going to have the new things. They're going to have the new items. You're going to feel at home. You're going to feel welcomed, and you're going to feel that luxe energy, right? So beauty had to find its way into this segment. And one of the things, once I realized today was the full moon in Libra, I found myself wanting to do myself up a bit more. When I took a shower today, I made sure to use the things that I love. I made sure to exfoliate with my cashmere exfoliator. I can never get that word out. I made sure to do the things and really take and put on my my gloves and really just go over my skin and my feet and just do the things, right? And after that, put on a nice robe. I found myself really exuding mother energy, mother moon energy, just allowing that sensuality, that sensuous ability that the moon has, that call of allure, so to speak. And being able to do that for yourself, guys, it puts, especially as a woman, you need to make sure you are being kind to yourself. You need to make sure that you're giving love to yourself, because when you do that, others give you love too. And it's not about, oh, I'm doing this so other people can love me. You're doing this because you are love. You are connected to God. The divine is your birthright. You being in synergy, having that ability to walk with your shoulders back, giving away. When's the last time you oiled your scalp? Taking time to wash your hair, and not just like, oh, I gotta wash my hair. Just really making a day out of it. What are you eating afterwards? Sitting down and soaking your feet. You know, it's not always about going out. Let me tell you something. The other day, I'm going to share this with you. The other day I had an appointment. I was like, oh, I'm going to go and get my feet done. I'm going to do the things. Girl, if I tell you I went, that would be a lie. I decided to go to the supermarket, get strawberries, put them in a nice little jar, get my favorite red nail polish, because your girl is all about the red on the toes, and put my feet into, I have one of those basins, and it massage like the bubbles, you know, if you put bubble bath or whatever you choose to. I had all my utensils for my feet. I put on something nice on TV. I had my strawberries on the side. I had my chocolate. So that was my snack for like after I was done, while I was waiting for my nail polish to dry. Okay, had a little wine. Girl, I was doing a thing. And yeah, I could have went and had somebody else do these things for me, but I just felt so good. I was in the comfort of my own home. I was feeling good. My feet was feeling good, and I slept like a baby that night. And I truly believe it's because of what I poured into myself. A lot of times we get confused, and listen, there's nothing wrong with paying for somebody else to do these things for you too. But there is something to be said when you do it for yourself. It just hits different. And if you have never done it, you need to try it and luxuriate about it. Don't just like, oh, I'm going to do my feet. Like really be sensual about it, right? And don't and try to even have like what you're watching be entertaining. Like what part of the mentality is it exuding? Are you watching something that is perpetuating fear? We don't want that. You want something that's going to, maybe like watch something like a love story, or it could be action. I'm gonna leave that up to you, but we want the vibes. Okay, we're here for the vibes. Okay, so you want to beautify yourself and sit in front of your vanity. I don't know if you have a designated place where you put on your makeup. Guys, this is top tier. As a woman, I personally, call me old fashioned. I believe that a woman should have a designated space to put on her makeup. And other than the bathroom, okay? Because we know what goes down in the bathroom, okay? This is your face. This is your skin. As a woman, you are a queen by nature. This is your birthright, right? So you want to have a designated area where you are getting ready in the morning, where you are taking time to look into the mirror and putting on your face and glorifying. And it's not about caking it up. It's about doing you the way you do you. Some people are not even about wearing makeup. They're just really heavy into the skincare. And that's tea too. Because honestly, I feel like if your skin is not hit, like the makeup is just not going to come down right. I know the other day I was like, what's going on with my skin? I was feeling a little dry. Okay. And I know the menopause has a lot to do with that, but girl, and I forgot that I had my exfoliating. I have this exfoliating brush, and you just go on, and when I say baby bottom, I was like, oh, just doing the things and taking time to speak life into yourself. Use this, especially in this full moon energy. What I want you to do, guys, I want you to, whether it could be tonight. It could be whenever you are back home. Look into the mirror. Sit down with yourself. Look into the mirror and speak beautiful things into yourself. Say how beautiful you are. Say how intelligent you are. Say how abundant you are. Say how you have the gift that is ignited within you because God has created you. Understand your vulnerability in your body. Speak these things. Speak fluently into yourselves. Because guys, when you do that, I believe a chamber is unlocked, and women have multiple chambers within. And this is not something, I truly believe every 10 years, another chamber is unlocked. Right? And this is how you get closer and closer to realizing thyself, unleashing your superpower. Every time you unlock a chamber, you unlock something different in yourself. You show up in a different version of yourself. And if you do not take heed to do it strategically, it will be done for you. And we all have those pictures. We look back and we're like, oh my God, girl, I don't know what I was thinking about when I was wearing this. I don't know what was it. And it's okay. It's okay. This is not about being perfect. This is about understanding your vulnerability and why it's important for you to be acquainted with your feminine energy, because we live in a male dominated world, which unfortunately a lot of women, most of us, if not all of us, has been presented through life, through trauma, pain, and sorrow, which has forced us into living in our masculine energy. And this is why I believe practicing the moon cycles reacquaints you with your feminine energy. And it does unleash something within you. Over the last couple of months, I've been feeling a little, back and forth. And I was, like I told you, I was on this journey, and I was reading I'm reading the word, I'm reading the living word of God. And it's been feeding me. It's been feeding me in a way. It's been driving me in a way. But yesterday, as I was on my way to the gym, I couldn't help feeling like something was missing. I couldn't help feeling like, why am I feeling like this? And then, I thought it was hormones. I thought, and it could be as well. I thought all the thoughts started coming. And then I've been in this business enough to start going back and saying to myself, because anytime I feel like this is usually because something, I stopped doing, or I'm not doing the thing that I used to do that was giving me a certain type of vibe. And you definitely should do the same. Whenever you're feeling low, girls, whenever you're feeling in your head or you're feeling the type of way, think back, take some time to think back. Oh, what are you not doing? What are you not doing? What did you stop doing? What did you stop incorporating in your life that's no longer giving you the benefits that you once had when you were your happiest? And I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. Clockwork. You will realize it for yourself. You'll realize, like, okay, I haven't been eating right. I haven't been sleeping right. I haven't been taking time to get my hair done. Girl, you already know. Usually when if it new hair, new you. I don't know what it is about vanity does play a factor. Because when you start to get depressed and you start to get in your mind, you start to get in this way, a lot of times we stop doing the things that we used to do because we don't feel good in ourselves. We don't feel good in our bodies, right? And then that wanting to give attention and love and care to ourselves start to go towards the wayside. And then we wonder why things is just looking hum and blum, right? So revisit the things that used to make you happy, that does make you happy, and be honest with yourself. This is not about being perfect. This is about setting the tone, putting yourself in position so you can unleash that secret chamber within yourself, so you could be reacclaimed and reacquainted to establish your superpower, because we all have it. Right. So I was thinking to myself, what is it? I was coming back from the gym. I was feeling good. Boo, are we going to see this Michael Jackson? At first I was like, I don't know. And I still don't know, you know what I mean, about this Michael Jackson. I think it's his nephew that's playing with it, that played the part. I don't know. But I have to say, you see how they reignited that Michael Jackson franchise? I feel like it's giving Elvis Presley. I feel like Michael Jackson is our Elvis Presley, because God knows how they resuscitated that man, Elvis. Okay. To the point where he didn't even pass. He didn't even move on. It's been sightseeing and all this other stuff. I remember when I was younger, oh my goodness. You don't really hear too much about it anymore, but for years, honey, for years, decades, they would not let this man rest. Okay. This is how much they love them some Elvis. And I feel like it's giving resuscitate, but you know what? I'm here for it, because I'm definitely a Michael Jackson fan. Okay. Because that man was definitely a gift to all of us. Right. So anyway, I'm walking, I'm asking myself, what's the thing? And what I realized today is because I stopped doing a thing. I wasn't in part. I was, you know what? No, let me be honest. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I was more focused on, and this is the thing, this is a balance that's always going back and forth, right? Male and feminine. Because, and this is why, when I'm very conscious of how I read the Bible, because it is the living word of God, but I also know that men wrote the Bible, right? And yes, we do have women in the Bible, but a lot of times the women are not in their superpower, to the best of their ability, right? Where the most prominent people are in the Bible are men, right? So it does kind of, especially as a woman, and this is one of the reasons why I personally walked away from religion many moons ago, because I didn't see me in there. And then lo and behold, here we are now. And I felt like, I was like, what is missing? What is missing is that I need to sit with the divine feminine. I need to recalibrate and understanding that God is in everything, because God loved me in every phase that I was in. Okay. And he still does. And he loves you. Especially if you are a woman that like goes to church and do the things and stuff like that. You know what? You do you. right? This is a gift that I am gifting you and rewarding you and just letting you understand as a woman, this is here for you. You know, whether you choose to pick up the baton, it is upon you. But this is your right. You know, this is what you were created for. Okay, so whether you want to pick it up or not, it's fine. But I will say there is something to be said when you focus on the divine feminine. You create a space for yourself. You create a way of life for yourself that is even more delicious, right? Rather than just like hearing how sinful you are. You know what I mean? Just saying. So spending time with yourself, writing in your journal, professing the things that you want in your life, whether it's love, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's a family, whether it's a new home, whether it's peace of mind, whatever it is, write it down, guys. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Create your life. Make it a point to write it down. Write it down, especially today. The moon phases usually starts it stays around for 3 days, like in terms of the potency of this energy that I'm speaking about. So today's a full moon, so it started, I would say, yesterday, today, and it'll still be tomorrow, but today is the day for release. Okay, so we want to do that. So beautifying your life, and not only your physical being, also beautifying the things that you do, luxuriating, when you could even go to the thrift store, the thrift stores, and pick up like antique dishes, just really like beautiful things. It could be a nice little cup that you drink your tea out of. It could be a particular dish. You can even be cute with it and get, like, you remember back in the day, the 14 karat gold? Do they do that anymore? You remember the 14 karat gold? They would have the 14 karat gold rims around the China set. Oh my God. Let me tell you, don't even get me on a China set, because I used to have to, that was my part of my chores growing up. I had to clean that. And if you're from the 70s, you already know, okay? Because I think everybody's mother around that time had them, especially your grandmother, had them China sets. So anyway, getting your own little set, and you can save it. You could save it for moments of pleasure, or you could eat off it every day. But, we want to have like these things put aside, especially like for the full moon. You could have like your me day, you know what I mean? And this is for any walk of life, regardless of your personal beliefs. This is if you're a woman, this is okay. So I fell in love with the story of Sheba when she came to go to visit King Solomon. When she left her land to go on a journey to visit King Solomon for his wisdom, because she heard all the things that he knew and stuff like that, right? She came with all her goods, okay? She came with gold, silk, spices, cattle, and the cattle had gold and all type of beautiful things as gifts to King Solomon. And she herself was adorned. She was beautiful. She was dripping of gold from head to toe. She adorned herself. Do you realize when you hear about these ancient women, they're always glorified in their beauty? Do you realize down to the women that were poor to women that were rich, anytime that they were about to go on a path that required them to be seen, they always adorned themselves. They always adorned and took time to do the things to shed light on the attributes that will acquire attention. I don't believe this is a mishap. I do not believe this is a mistake. These are clues. But again, because we live in a male dominated, listen, I didn't make up the rules. It is a man's world. Okay. This is not a debate. It is, but the gift in being a woman is unmatched. And I believe one of the reasons why the focus has been so put upon to take that glory away from you is because the powers that be knows your power. So if everybody knows your power, why don't you? Okay. The next one is health. Okay. So we're going to touch on this. Okay. And I would even go as far as saying beauty and health is the same, but I wanted to separate this because Spirit told me to do it. And then on top of that, I really believe that as women, our health is on red. Okay. I'm going to start with the mental health. Okay. Women, first of all, let's go down the line. Women are not supporting one another the way they should. We are ripping each other apart, laughing at our foes, disrespecting one another, and preying upon each other wickedly. Not cool. Not cool. Because life and death is in the tongue. And there's a reason why women in the ancient times would celebrate and come around one another and be with one another and cheer each other's on, because we as women, we are stronger in numbers. Look how powerful you are by yourself. Imagine a crew of women, of beautiful, strong women that truly wants the best for each and every one of us. Why are we tearing one another apart? Why are we hating on one another? It is a disease that needs to be plucked out, in my opinion. I'm not even going to say humble opinion. I'm not humbled about it, because it has bestowed so much fear to the point that we don't even feel comfortable sharing with one another anymore because of the trauma that we have endured from our own family members, from even our own mothers at times, right? This is a sickness. And usually the pain that has been put upon these people, strangers, family members, whatever, is because it's learned behavior. Learned behavior that has been passed down, and now it's to the point where it's in the blood, it's in the DNA. When this was supposed to, women are I want to say creatures. Women are beings of love, of light. We literally, our vessel, okay, literally house human beings. We literally, okay, create life within our wombs. How can beautiful entities as such be so harmful to one another? Like, it's to the point where, like, I'm not going to even hold you. Like, it's to the point where even when, like, if I'm scrolling and I hear like some mishap happen to a particular female or whatever the situation is, like, once I go, like, at first it's like but then I police myself. Like, if I go to the comments and then I start to see, I get off of that. Because you know what? Regardless of you writing, it's like you still pouring into that person's misery, right? And don't get me wrong, I hear you. It's entertaining, this, that, and the third. But like, as women, we got to be on 1,000 for one another. Okay? Because let me tell you, men, that bro line is tight. Okay, let me tell you something. Men, they could duke it out and all this other stuff and still be in no battle with each other, shoulder to shoulder, armor to armor. And here we are letting everything in. And it's just not cool. It's just not cool. And I just feel like it does to you. It does something to all of us mentally. It does something to all of us spiritually. And then we pass this down to our seeds, to our children, right? And it does something to you where because what you put on somebody else, it comes upon you. Believe it or not, you think. I do believe in that three folds, right? So whatever you put out does come back times 3. It does, right? So how are we able to change this dynamic? Because I understand we cannot change the world. It is what it is, right? Because females are females and we are different. And I in some ways I understand why it is hard for a lot of females to come together, because they don't call it catty for no reason, right? Because every woman is in her power. Every woman is strong. Every woman has this thing about her that is creative and explosive at the same time. And so there can be a lot of friction within that. So I understand about the proximity of it not being healthy, right? I understand that. Trust me. Okay. Because you're not going to see a crowd behind me. Okay. With that being said, though, from your proximity can be love, right? You may not be part of a harem, but you can push that love out. We can pray for one another, pray good for one another. We can support one another and truly mean it. Because every time we see someone win, we're winning, right? When you see the next woman win, you're winning too. There's no such thing as, must be nice. Yeah, but your time is right here. Your time may not look like hers, but your time is even better because it's your time, right? It's plenty. I said this before. It's plenty enough, plenty enough to go around for all of us. Because here's a tip, right? If it was so, then why naturally, and we're not going into medical terms and stuff like that, but naturally women are naturally expected to give birth, like to get pregnant, right? To bear children. If it wasn't plenty enough to be blessed within ourselves, our body wouldn't be plentiful. So this concept of not breathing life into one another is a facade, right? It's something that has been produced over the time, and now it has taken a life of its own. But I am faithful and understanding that this too shall pass, because in many cultures, especially when a young lady she gets her first menstrual, they take this young lady in, they pray for her, they celebrate her, they tell her, they talk to her, they nourish her, they feed her, because they know that she is being prepared for a different journey. So they pour into her. The elders speak to her. I remember, and I've been blessed I wasn't like in a village, but it felt like I was a village. I mean, I believe our families are our own little villages, right? And I never forget it, because it was like the Saturday I was speaking to my friend. I was the only one that didn't have my menstrual. Okay. I was like a late bloomer, but anyway, well, not really late, but like I didn't have it yet. And I remember I was speaking to a friend of mine. I never forget, we was in a schoolyard and she was on her menstrual. And I remember speaking to her, asking her, like, how does it feel? Like, I wanted so bad to know. Like, I wanted so bad to use a pad. I wanted this to be in, right? And I remember asking her, like, how does it feel? And she was telling me like cramps and stuff like that. And I was like trying to understand, trying to conceptualize what this young lady's telling me. And I was a young lady myself. And guess what? That Saturday morning, I went to the bathroom and it was on. And the first thing I did, I screamed and called my mother. And you want to hear the funny thing? Immediately my mother knew. My mother knew, right? It's just something you just know, right? And my mother even told me to wipe again. Like, let's make sure, right? Girl, what, like, I'm a little girl, like, and I remember, like, as clear as yesterday, my mother called everybody, like her sisters and my aunts and my godmother. Everybody one by one was calling me, congratulating me, and giving me their little tips, like don't walk on the floor with no socks, drink tea, rest, just like, the things that you say and the things that we find ourselves doing to this day, right? When that time of the month is here. And, now that I look back on it, oh my God, am I going to cry? Okay, we're not going to do that. Girl, okay. Not when we got on the lashes. Okay. I just remember, like, oh my God, I'm getting like really emotional. I remember, like, I just didn't realize how much of a blessing that was in my life. Like, I just, having these moments. And when you think back, now I'm in my 50s and I think back and I'm like, oh my God, like, that was such a blessing. That was such a blessing. Oh God, girl, we not going to be doing that. Okay. We not. Okay. We're not going to be doing that. Okay. But like, oh my God, I went to full in emotional mode. Okay. Anyway, thank you for your support. But I'm just saying, like, it was such a beautiful, tender time. And although I was a little girl, it stuck with me. It stuck with me. That moment stuck with me. And if that was just me at the ripe age of, how old was I? 11, 12? I don't believe I was 12. I was 12. And being able to realize and remember such things, how much more could we do right now with where we are, right? Smiling with one another, sharing with one another, seeing one another, just like speaking life into our situations, even if we don't know what the next person is, because trust me, everybody has something that they're going through, right? So mental health, writing and speaking life into yourselves, guys. Like, I know I said that in the beauty section, but I'm just saying, like, again, 2 and 2, like speaking life and really understanding who you are in God, understanding that your divine energy is your feminine power, your feminine ability to be strong is your birthright, right? And coming from a place of assurance will enable you to unlock that chamber that much more, because you are pouring into yourself. And where the mind goes, the body follows. Another thing, guys, moving your body. Let me tell you something. I know that we want to be cutesy. I know nobody wants to really sweat and get vigorous. And some of us do. I don't mind. I love a good sweat. Okay. But moving your body, getting your heart rate up to a healthy state. And again, if you are dealing with some other things, please ask your physician as well before you start, if you haven't been already active. But moving your body definitely keeps the body, keeps the mind right, keeps the body right, keep the blood flowing, which will release oxygen throughout your organs. You want to be in the best physical shape for as long as possible. People used to live way past the hundreds, okay, without all these extra things, doing this, getting checked for this, and doing all this other stuff. Like, people were living much longer way before they had all access to all these things. And yes, food does play a big part, because if you're eating crap every single day, and let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying not to have fun. There are moments where you indulge, definitely indulge. How can you not? But have a police what is going into your mouth. And this is not about, losing weight or not losing weight. I'm gonna leave that to you. You know how you feel comfortable in your body. But how you treat your vessel plays a big factor. Why? I thought that was my cat. Okay. How you treat yourself, the things that you consume, definitely. And staying hydrated, doing the things that's just going to give you the life that you know that you want. And here are wanting to deserve, because you're not going to be able to focus and understand anything if you don't feel right in your body. That's just a fact. Going to the gym, going for walks. There are so many things. If you don't have a gym membership, which I personally believe you could get the cheapest. I believe like what is like the cheapest, like $9.99, $10, maybe $11. Girl, do yourself a favor and sign up, okay? And yeah, you can work out from your home. There are exercises you could do from your chair. There's exercise. There's always something you could do. You could go for walks, long walks. There's especially now, especially if you live in the northern hemisphere, the weather is supposed to be being better. But now that you're not dealing with the snow, you could go out and deal with the things outside. But moving your body. And one of the things that I feel that every woman should be doing is yoga, Pilates, calisthenics. And I'm going to hit you with the secret sauce. Ballet. Yep. Because I'm a ballerina. Ballet. And I'm just going to touch on this for a bit, okay? Now, whether you want to be a dancer or not, I'm going to leave that up to you. That is a gymnastics, okay? When you see these women into these poses, they had to strategically strengthen different areas of their lives. And ballet, personally, I feel is good for every woman, because what it does, it focuses on the core. Right. And especially when you had children before, this area is a very tender area. This is a weak area, and we always are sitting, doing the things. So that muscle is always being relaxed. And this is when and I have suffered from that, back issues, because your core is not as strong as it needs to be. Right. And your core is your lifeline. Okay. So being mentally, physically healthy is really important, especially when you are moving in this divine energy, because it's powerful, guys. It's powerful. The spirit is powerful, and you want your body to be able to keep up, right? The next one is goal setting. Yeah. What are your goals? Are you living life aimlessly? Are you living life as if it's a dream and not a reality? Do you know what you want out of life? You say you want this. You say you want to do that. But what are you doing to make this thing a reality? In the beginning of this episode, I discussed money, and I gave you some tangible tips that would allow you to be further in your finances. But what are you doing with your goal settings? Are you writing them down? Are you taking time to see your goals through? Do you have a list? Do you have a journal? Are you writing, girl? Are you doing the things? Do you know what you want as an adult? Or are you just looking on Pinterest and just like, oh, I like this, and just creating these weird boards, and they're just all over the place, but you don't have any main goal of how to obtain these things that you say that you want in your life? What are your goals? What are your dreams? Are you sitting with the divine feminine and seeing what and how you can attain with the abilities and the gifts that you already have that God has put upon you? Are you doing that? Do you know who you are? Do you even know what that looks like for you? If not, this is your moment to shine. How can you unleash anything when you don't know where you're going? How can you do anything if you don't know where you're going? You don't have you just don't have any rhyme or reason for why you're doing the things that you're doing. So set your goals, and it doesn't have to be this big thing. Let me tell you how easy it could be. You can either A, Go on Pinterest and create a board of everything. Skies is the limit. What car you see yourself driving, what house you see yourself having, what kind of position, if you are a career woman, and many of us are, what kind of career that you either would like to aspire up level to, or you would like to create on your own. How does that look like? What does the font look like? What are the colors? Just go wild. Skies is the limit. How much money did you see yourself having in the next year? Put it all in. Add all of these things in. This is not about what is real, what is fake. Subconsciously, your subconscious does not know the difference. So if you tell your mind, I'm making 100,000, I look to make let's just get a number, 100,000 by the end of this year. You focus on that. You keep doing the things. Your subconscious mind is not going to say, girl, you lying, psych. It's not going to do that. What happens, and the people that really stuck with that, and this is, you can look it up. People have been known to say that because they focused on their goals and they became obsessed with their goals, they were able to realize it. They were so obsessed with their goals and what they wanted to achieve in their business or anything that they wanted. They found they was able to receive it. This is not something new that I am mentioning to you guys, right? So set goals, and the full moon is a beautiful time to do that. And when you're setting those goals, you're not like, I'm so happy when I get this. I'm so happy when I get this, I'll be happy. No, you're speaking it into existence. What you're doing is saying, I'm so grateful to have this experience of going to Paris. Oh, it was so wonderful. The experience of meeting all these wonderful people, going there safe and coming back safe is just divine. I thank you. You start professing these things, right? So your goal setting is your reality. It's not like, oh, I hope, and leave it to God. And leave it to God. This is not about you knowing exactly how things are supposed to go. You leave it to God. Last but not least, faith. Of course. Faith. Do you have faith? If God were to ask you right now, chose you, you, do you have faith? Do you believe that I can do this for you? If God were to ask you right now, chose you out of everybody else, do you have faith? What would you say? Would you be able to truly say yes? If somebody were to ask you, do you have faith in yourself? What would you say? Would you be able to say yes? And if not, it's okay. You can start today. Today is your day to walk in faith. Today is your day where you manifest. Today is the day where you take courage that you are listening, and are under the sound of my voice because God has chosen you. This is not me right now telling you. This is God. Today is the day where you choose to make a turn. Today is the day where you choose to be the first one in your family to make a difference. Today is the day. Today is the day where you look yourself in the mirror and say, I am worthy. I am enough. I am woman. Hear me roar. Today is your day, guys. You have the ability to have faith and set apart yourself, thyself, and make a difference that has been unheard of, unseen, and unweathered. Today is your day. I believe this with you. I believe this for you. Because guess what, guys? Time is not of the essence. You'll never get back the hours that just passed. You'll never get back the years that has passed. How many more years would you let fly by because you did not choose to make today the day when you set forth to unleash your superpower? Guys, this was so delicious. Thank you to each and every one of you that took the time to sit with me in faith, sit with me in courage, sit with me in love. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, am very grateful to that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a message down below. Let me know what you took away from this. Let me know how this made you feel inside. Share your thoughts with me and share your thoughts with others. I would love to hear it. Be sure to subscribe to my email list. There is a gift down below. Down to the articles, just scroll all the way down, girl, and get your gift. Okay, if you don't want to read all the articles, which I am going to assess that you do, because there are a lot of tips. There are a lot of things that I offer on that site. So be sure to check that out as well, and sign up to my vlog channel at Elizabeth Magical Garden, where I am a little more intimate on that platform. And I would love to have you there as well. I thank you to all my new subscribers. I thank you to my oldies and goodies. Guys, stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace. Hey guys, leave a comment and review, preferably 5 stars. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram, because what is popping over there. And also check out my YouTube channel to stay connected and see your girl's lovely face. Guys, I love you so much. Keep on pushing, and I'll definitely speak to you soon. Be blessed.